Monica stood frozen in their home office, her trembling hand covering her mouth as she watched the security footage on the computer screen. There on their marital bed was her husband Jerome, tangled with a woman she recognized as his secretary Brittany. The timestamp showed yesterday afternoon when he claimed to be in a business meeting. The woman's red dress was thrown carelessly on the floor, the same dress Monica had complimented at the company picnic last month. Jerome's wedding ring sat on the nightstand, catching the light like a cruel joke. Her hand instinctively moved to her belly where their fourth child grew. 4 months along and she hadn't even told him yet, wanting to surprise him on their anniversary next week. Their 3 daughters were downstairs doing homework, blissfully unaware that their world was about to shatter. The front door slammed. Jerome was home. Monica quickly closed the video file, saving it to a USB drive with shaking fingers. She heard his footsteps on the stairs, heavy and confident like always. He walked into the office without knocking, his expression cold and distant. "We need to talk," he said, not meeting her eyes. Monica noticed the way his jaw set, the same expression he wore when firing employees. "About what?" "I want a divorce." The words hung in the air like poison. "I've already talked to my lawyer. You need to take the girls and leave." "Leave?" Monica's voice cracked. "This is our home. We've been married for 12 years, Jerome. Our daughters are your responsibility now." He pulled out a folder from his briefcase. "I'm keeping the house, the cars, the investments. You can take your personal belongings and the girls' things. I'll give you some money to get started, but don't expect more." Monica felt her legs weaken. She gripped the desk for support. "You can't just throw us out. What about Sophia's piano recital next week? Grace's science fair? Faith just started preschool here. Not my problem anymore." Jerome's eyes were like stone. "Brittany is pregnant with my son." "My son, Monica. After 3 tries you only gave me daughters." The cruelty of his words sliced through her. Monica wanted to scream that she was pregnant too, but something held her back. A protective instinct she didn't fully understand yet. "Daughters are just as valuable as sons," she managed to say. Jerome laughed bitter and harsh. "Really? Who's going to carry on my family name? Who's going to take over my business? Girls just get married and become someone else's problem. I've wasted 12 years. "Wasted?" Monica's shock transformed into anger. "Our daughters are not a waste. They're brilliant, kind, talented, and expensive. Dance classes, piano lessons, all those dolls and dresses. Boys are simpler, stronger, better investments." He straightened his tie, a gesture she once found charming. "You have 48 hours to get out. My lawyer will send the papers." "Jerome, please. Think about what you're doing. The girls love you. The girls will be fine. Kids adapt." He turned to leave, then paused. "Oh, and don't bother trying to fight this. I've already moved most of the money to accounts you can't touch. Accept my offer or you'll get nothing." Monica watched him leave, her mind racing. She pulled out her phone and started recording as he walked away, catching his retreating figure. "Jerome," she called out, and he turned. The phone captured everything as she asked, "So you're really choosing her over your 3 daughters? You don't want them at all?" "I never wanted daughters," he said clearly, his voice carrying perfectly to her phone's microphone. 3 strikes and you're out. Brittany's giving me what I actually want, a legacy, a real heir. The girls were just expensive mistakes." He left and Monica stopped recording. She stood there, one hand on her belly, feeling the tiny flutter of movement from the baby he didn't know about. The baby that, according to the ultrasound from last week, was a boy. The son he claimed to want so desperately. She looked at the USB drive in her hand, then at her phone with the recording. Evidence, protection, weapons he didn't know she had. Going downstairs, she found her daughters in the living room. Sophia was helping Grace with multiplication tables while Faith colored in her princess book. They looked up at her with Jerome's eyes but her smile. "Mommy, is Daddy coming to my recital?" Sophia asked. Monica knelt beside them, pulling all 3 into her arms. "We're going to go on an adventure, my loves. Just the 4 of us." 5. Faith corrected, patting Monica's belly. "Baby makes 5. Monica's tears finally came, but she smiled through them. "That's right, sweetheart. 5. The next morning came too quickly. Monica had spent the night packing essentials while the girls slept, her mind calculating what they needed versus what would fit in her small SUV. Jerome had already left for work, but not before disabling her credit cards and changing the locks on the storage unit where they kept holiday decorations and the girls' baby items. "Mommy, why are all our clothes in suitcases?" Grace asked over breakfast, her 6-year-old eyes too perceptive. "We're going to stay somewhere else for a while," Monica said carefully, pouring cereal. "Like a long sleepover." "But I have show and tell tomorrow," Sophia protested. "I'm supposed to bring my science project." Monica's heart broke. The solar system model they'd spent weeks building sat in Sophia's room, too large to take. "We'll make an even better one, sweetheart." Her phone buzzed. A text from Jerome. "Movers coming at noon. Be gone by then." She had 4 hours. Monica moved through the house like a whirlwind, filling garbage bags with clothes and necessities. She grabbed important documents from the safe, birth certificates, social security cards, her degree that had been collecting dust. She found their photo albums and hesitated. Pictures of happier times when Jerome held baby Sophia with pride, when he taught Grace to ride her bike. Why save all of it? She took only one photo, her daughters at the beach last summer, laughing in the waves. Faith found her crying in the bathroom trying to fit medicine and toiletries into a bag. "Mommy sad?" the 4-year-old asked, wrapping her small arms around Monica's leg. "Mommy's just tired, baby." Monica lifted her daughter, inhaling the sweet scent of her strawberry shampoo. "Can you help me pack your special toys?" As they packed, Monica's phone rang constantly. Jerome's family, all telling her to be reasonable, to leave quietly, to think of the girls' reputation. Not one asked if they needed help or where they would go. At 11:30, Monica loaded the last bag into the car. The girls stood in the driveway, confused and scared. "What about Princess Whiskers?" Faith cried, remembering their cat. "Daddy will take care of her." Monica lies. Jerome hated the cat. As she backed out of the driveway, she saw Brittany's red convertible pulling up. The woman had the audacity to wave, her left hand sporting a massive diamond ring. Monica kept driving. "Where are we going, Mommy?" Sophia asked from the back seat. Monica thought of her grandmother's house, sitting empty since her death 2 years ago. It was small, needed work, but it was hers. Jerome didn't know about it. She'd inherited it before they met and never put his name on the deed. "We're going to Great-Grandma Rose's house," she said, trying to sound excited. "Remember how much you loved visiting her? But it's old and creaky." Grace said, "Then we'll make it new and beautiful." Monica replied, meeting their eyes in the rearview mirror. "We're strong girls, aren't we? The strongest." Faith cheered, not understanding but feeding off her mother's determined energy. As they drove away from their gated community, Monica's phone buzzed with a bank alert. Jerome had deposited $25,000 into her personal account. His idea of generous. 12 years of marriage, 3 children, and he valued them at $25,000. She pulled into a gas station and saw a homeless woman with a cardboard sign. "Abandoned by husband, 3 kids, anything helps." Monica handed her a $20 bill, recognizing herself in the woman's desperate eyes. That could be her if she wasn't careful. Her phone rang. "Jerome, you gone yet?" His voice was impatient. "We're out," Monica said flatly. "Good. Don't try contacting me. I'll have my lawyer send support payments monthly. $2,000 should cover it." $2,000 for 3 children? It's more than generous. Brittany says. Monica hung up. She looked at her daughters in the back seat, then at her belly. She made a decision. Jerome would never know about this baby. This son he claimed to want so desperately would never know his father's rejection. She turned her phone to record. "Girls, can you tell me how you're feeling right now?" "Confused," Sophia said honestly. "Scared," Grace added. "Hungry." Faith contributed, making her sisters laugh despite everything. "And Daddy said we had to leave?" Monica prompted gently. "He said he doesn't live with us anymore." Sophia repeated what she'd overheard. "He said he has a new family coming." Every word recorded. Every abandonment documented. Grandmother Rose's house sat on a quiet street in a working-class neighborhood, its paint peeling and garden overgrown. The contrast to their former mansion was stark. Monica watched her daughters' faces fall as they pulled into the cracked driveway. "It looks haunted," Grace whispered. "It looks like an adventure," Monica corrected, forcing enthusiasm into her voice. "Come on, let's explore our new kingdom." The house smelled of dust and memories. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen that hadn't been updated since the 70s. But it was theirs. Monica set the girls to work making it feel like home while she assessed their situation. $25,000 seemed like a lot until she did the math. Private school for 3 girls, food, clothes, utilities, medical bills, her pregnancy. It would disappear fast. She needed a job. That night, after setting up sleeping bags in the larger bedroom for the girls, Monica sat at the old kitchen table with her laptop. Her resume was 12 years out of date. Before marrying Jerome, she'd been a programmer, good at it too. But technology had changed. Her skills were obsolete. "Mommy," Sophia appeared in the doorway rubbing her eyes. "I can't sleep. It's too quiet here." Monica pulled her eldest onto her lap. "I know, baby. Change is hard. Why doesn't Daddy want us anymore?" The question she'd been dreading. Monica chose her words carefully. "Sometimes adults make choices that don't make sense, but it's not about you. You're perfect exactly as you are. Brittany is prettier than you," Sophia said quietly. "I heard Grandma Janet say so." Monica's anger flared, but she kept her voice gentle. "Pretty is just one thing a person can be. You know what's better? Being smart, kind, brave, loyal. You and your sisters have all of those things. Do you hate Daddy now?" Monica considered lying, but Sophia was too smart for that. "I'm very disappointed in him, but I don't want you to hate him. He's still your father." "A bad father," Sophia said matter-of-factly. Monica couldn't argue with that. The next morning brought new challenges. Enrolling the girls in public school required documents still at the house. Monica had to call Jerome's assistant to retrieve them, enduring the woman's condescending tone. "Mr. Harrison is very busy with the wedding preparations," the assistant said. "Perhaps you could have been more organized during your departure." Wedding? Preparations? He wasn't even divorced yet. At the school, the secretary was kind, but the differences were obvious. No uniform, larger classes, older buildings. Sophia adapted quickly, but Grace cried at drop-off, and Faith's preschool had a 6-month waiting list. Monica found a daycare for Faith that cost a fortune, then drove to the library to use their computer. She couldn't afford internet at the house yet. She applied for 20 jobs in 3 hours, her programming background making her qualified for exactly none of them. Her phone rang. An unknown number. "Monica Harrison?" A warm female voice asked. "This is Patricia Coleman from TechStart Solutions. We received your application. Your background is interesting, but your skills are outdated. However, I like your cover letter. Your honesty about starting over resonated with me. Can you come in tomorrow?" Monica's hand went to her belly. She was showing, but loose clothing could hide it for a while. "Yes, absolutely." "Great. And Monica, I've been where you are. Single mother, starting over. If you're willing to learn, I'm willing to teach." That evening, Monica sold her wedding ring at a pawn shop. The $20,000 ring Jerome had proposed with got her $3,000 in cash. She used it to buy interview clothes from a thrift store, groceries, and a month of internet service. While the girls did homework at the kitchen table, Monica studied programming tutorials online. Everything had changed, but the logic was the same. She could do this. "Mommy, you look tired," Grace observed. "I'm learning new things," Monica explained. "Just like you're learning multiplication." "Is it hard?" "Very. But you know what we do when things are hard? We try harder." All 3 girls chanted a phrase she taught them years ago. That night, Monica felt the baby move strongly. Her little secret, her hidden ace. She whispered to her belly, "You're going to be so loved, little one. You'll never doubt it for a second." The interview at TechStart Solutions changed everything. Patricia Coleman was a force of nature, a Black woman who built her startup from nothing after her own divorce. I don't usually hire people without current skills. Patricia said bluntly, reviewing Monica's resume. But I recognize something in you. Desperation mixed with determination. That combination can move mountains. I can learn anything. Monica promised. I just need a chance. Patricia studied her for a long moment. You're pregnant. Monica's hand flew to her stomach. A yes, but I can work through it after. I won't let it affect. Relax. I had my son while bootstrapping this company. We're remote first anyway. Can you start Monday? The relief nearly broke Monica's composure. Thank you. You won't regret this. The job was entry-level, handling customer support while learning coding on the side. The pay wasn't much, but it was remote, flexible, and Patricia included healthcare. Monica threw herself into the work, studying after the girls went to bed, practicing code until her eyes burned. 3 months passed in a blur. The house slowly transformed, fresh paint bought with her first paycheck, a garden planted with the girls, furniture from garage sales making it feel like home. The girls adjusted to their new school. Sophia made friends quickly, her natural leadership shining. Grace joined the art club. Faith thrived in daycare, her sunny personality winning over everyone. Monica hid her pregnancy with increasingly creative wardrobe choices. On video calls, she stayed seated, strategic books and plants blocking the view. She told no one except Mrs. Rodriguez next door, a grandmother who'd taken them under her wing. Why you no tell anyone about the baby? Mrs. Rodriguez asked one evening watching the girls play in the backyard. Their father doesn't know. Monica admitted. And I want to keep it that way. He should pay for this child too. He should do a lot of things. Monica rubbed her belly. But this baby will never feel unwanted. Never feel like a burden or a disappointment. That's worth more than his money. Late at night, while reviewing customer complaints for TechStart, Monica had an idea. Parents kept asking for better tools to manage custody exchanges, communicate with difficult co-parents, track expenses for court. She knew that pain intimately now. She started sketching out an app design, not just for custody issues, but for single parents managing everything alone. Scheduling, budgeting, connecting with resources, building community. She called it Single Strong. Patricia noticed her initiative during a team meeting. Monica, you've resolved more tickets than anyone this month, and your code reviews are improving faster than expected. I have good motivation, Monica replied, thinking of her daughters. Show me what you're working on, Patricia said after the meeting ended. Reluctantly, Monica shared her app concept. Patricia's eyes lit up. This is brilliant. The market's huge and underserved. I want to incubate this within TechStart. You'll lead the project and we'll split the equity. Deal? Monica nearly cried. Deal. Development happened at night, during lunch breaks, whenever she could steal moments. The girls thought Mommy was playing computer games. Her belly grew harder to hide. She started declining video calls, claiming camera issues. Then came the ultrasound she couldn't miss. 28 weeks. Mrs. Rodriguez watched the girls. You want to know the gender? The technician asked. Monica nodded, though she'd suspected for weeks. Congratulations, it's a boy. A boy? The son Jerome destroyed their family to have was right here, growing inside the wife he discarded. The irony was sharp enough to cut. That night, she told the girls about their brother. A baby? Faye squealed. A real baby? But Daddy doesn't live with us, Sophia said, always practical. How will we take care of a baby alone? The same way we do everything, Monica said. Together. Grace touched Monica's belly gently. Will Daddy want us back when he finds out it's a boy? The question broke Monica's heart. This is our secret for now, okay? Our special surprise. Can you keep the secret? 3 small heads nodded solemnly. Meanwhile, Single Strong took shape. Monica poured every ounce of pain, frustration, and hope into the code. Patricia provided resources and mentorship. They soft-launched to a small test group. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Single parents desperately needed this tool. They needed community, resources, dignity. The app provided all 3. We're onto something huge, Patricia said, reviewing the early metrics. But Monica, you're about to pop. When are you going on leave? I'm not, Monica said firmly. I'll work until delivery and after. I can't afford to stop. Patricia looked at her with knowing eyes. When I had my son, I gave birth on a Tuesday and was answering emails by Thursday. I understand. But you'll need help. I have help. Monica thought of Mrs. Rodriguez, of her daughters stepping up in ways children shouldn't have to. We're stronger than we look. Labor started during a product meeting. Monica kept her camera off, muting herself during contractions, typing responses in the chat while timing them on her phone. Monica, you okay? Patricia asked privately. Fine, Monica typed back, then muted again as another wave hit. She made it through the meeting, assigned her tasks to a colleague, then calmly told Mrs. Rodriguez it was time. The girls were at school. Perfect timing. At the hospital, she registered alone. The forms asked for the father's information. She left it blank. No father? The nurse asked gently. No father, Monica confirmed. Daniel came into the world at 3:47 a.m. screaming and perfect. 7 pounds of potential that Jerome would never know about. Monica held him studying his features. He had Jerome's nose but her spirit she could already tell. Mrs. Rodriguez brought the girls after school. They crept into the hospital room like they were approaching something sacred. He's so small. Sophia whispered. Can I hold him? Grace asked. Baby. Faith declared then more quietly, my baby. Our baby. Monica corrected. This is Daniel, your brother. She'd chosen the name carefully. It meant God is my judge. Let Jerome be judged by a higher power than family court. Patricia visited that evening with a gift basket and a laptop. I figured you'd want to keep working. The app went viral today. Tech blogs picked it up. We have 10,000 downloads. 10,000. Monica stared at the number while Daniel nursed. 10,000 single parents finding support through her pain. She went home after 2 days. No one to sign her out. No one to drive them. Mrs. Rodriguez helped, but Monica walked into that small house carrying her son with her daughters flanking her like tiny bodyguards. We're complete now, Sophia declared. Our family is complete. Monica worked through the newborn haze, coding while Daniel slept on her chest, answering emails while pumping, updating features during 3 a.m. feedings. The girls helped more than children should. Sophia making sandwiches, Grace entertaining Faith. All of them taking turns holding Daniel while Monica showered. Single Strong exploded. 50,000 users in the first month. Investors started calling. Patricia fielded them while Monica recovered and worked. Then came the magazine article that changed everything. From abandoned wife to tech CEO. Monica Harrison's Single Strong story. They'd found her somehow. Pieced together her journey. The article went viral, but Monica had been careful. No mention of Daniel. No recent photos. Just her story of rebuilding. Her phone rang at midnight 2 weeks later. Jerome. She let it go to voicemail. Monica, I saw the article. We need to talk. Call me. She deleted it. More calls followed. Texts, emails. She ignored them all, focusing on her children and her company. Single Strong hit 100,000 users. An investment firm offered $2 million for 30% equity. Patricia negotiated them down to 20%. Monica was officially a millionaire. On paper at least. She kept it quiet, maintaining their simple life. The house got necessary repairs, the girls got new clothes, but nothing flashy. She was building something bigger than revenge. Social media told its own story though. Jerome's wedding photos appeared online. A lavish affair that must have cost hundreds of thousands. Brittany glowed in designer white, her hand constantly on her still flat stomach. The pregnancy he'd blown up their life for. Comments poured in. Didn't he just divorce Monica? 3 daughters abandoned for this? Brittany was the secretary, right? The narrative was building without Monica lifting a finger. Then came the twist Monica hadn't expected. An old colleague from Jerome's company reached out privately. Thought you should know. Brittany's not pregnant. Never was. She's been faking it to lock him down. Plans to claim miscarriage after the wedding. Monica stared at the message, Daniel sleeping in her arms. Jerome had destroyed their family for a lie. He'd thrown away 3 daughters for an illusion. She could expose it all. One post, one reveal, and his world would crumble. Instead, she kissed Daniel's head and kept working. The best revenge wasn't destroying Jerome. It was building something so beautiful, so successful, that his destruction would pale in comparison. Success would be her revenge, and it was just beginning. 2 years passed like a whirlwind. Daniel took his first steps in the same week single strong hit 1 million users. Monica watched her son toddle across the kitchen, while simultaneously fielding calls from Forbes and TechCrunch. "Mama." Daniel called, his chubby hands reaching for her. "Coming, baby," she said, putting the reporter on hold. The contrast between her two lives was stark. By day, she was Monica Harrison, rising tech star featured on magazine covers and speaking at conferences. By night, she was just mom making mac and cheese and checking homework. "You're going to be on TV?" Sophia asked, now 10 and wise beyond her years. "Just a small interview." Monica downplayed. "My friends saw you in their mom's magazine." Grace added, "They think you're famous." "I'm not famous. I just help people." The truth was more complex. Single Strong had evolved from an app to a movement. Support groups formed through the platform. Resources for legal aid, counseling, and child care connected parents in need. Monica had accidentally built something that mattered. Patricia had stepped back to advisor status, giving Monica full control. "You've outgrown me," she said proudly. "This is your empire now." Empire? Monica looked around their modest home. Toys scattered on floor. She mopped herself and laughed. Some empire. But the numbers didn't lie. The company valuation sat at 50 million. Acquisition offers poured in weekly. Monica refused them all. This was bigger than money now. Then she saw the news that made her pause. Jerome's company had lost its biggest client. The article mentioned leadership changes and strategic restructuring, corporate speak for disaster. Her phone rang. Janet, Jerome's mother. "Monica, dear, I know we haven't spoken, but I wanted to check on the girls." 2 years of silence, and now she called. "They're wonderful." Monica replied carefully. "I saw your success. Very impressive. Jerome must be proud." Monica almost laughed. "Jerome doesn't know anything about our lives. I thought perhaps, given his current difficulties, you might be feeling generous." There it was. They wanted her help. "His difficulties aren't my concern." "But Monica, you were married for so long. Surely you don't want to see him suffer?" He didn't mind seeing me and his daughter suffer. The silence stretched before Janet spoke again. "Brittany lost the baby. And the second one, the doctors say she can't carry to term." Monica felt nothing. No satisfaction, no sympathy, just nothing. "I'm sorry for their loss. Perhaps if Jerome knew about your success, your beautiful daughter's thriving." "Goodbye, Janet." Monica hung up. That night, she watched her 4 children at dinner. Sophia helped Daniel with his fork while Grace told a story about art class, and Faith performed a dance she'd learned. They'd built this without Jerome. They didn't need him now. But the universe wasn't done with its irony. The next morning brought an unexpected visitor. Monica opened the door to find Brittany, designer clothes hanging loose on her thin frame, eyes red from crying. "What are you doing here?" "I need your help," Brittany said desperately. "No. Please. Just 5 minutes." Against her better judgment, Monica let her in, keeping Daniel in his playpen where Brittany couldn't see him clearly. "Jerome's losing everything," Brittany said. "The business is failing. He's drinking. He found out I lied about the first pregnancy, and now he blames me for everything. And I know you have money now, influence. You could save his company." Monica laughed, actually laughed. "Why would I do that?" "Because you loved him once. Because of your daughters." "My daughters who he called expensive mistakes? Those daughters?" Brittany flinched. "He didn't mean that. He meant every word." Monica stood. "You need to leave. You're really going to let him fail?" "I'm not letting him do anything. His choices, his consequences." Brittany's eyes hardened. "You always were cold. No wonder he left you. He left me for a fake pregnancy and a younger woman who's now begging his ex-wife for help. How's that working out?" After Brittany left, Monica's hands shook. Not from anger or fear, but from the realization of how far she'd come. That woman's desperation used to be her life. Now she had power, success, and most importantly, peace. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number with a photo attached. Jerome looking haggard outside what appeared to be a courthouse. The message read, "Bankruptcy filing today. Thought you should know." Monica deleted it and went back to work. She had a conference keynote to prepare. The topic, rising from ashes, building success from failure. The irony wasn't lost on her. The Forbes interview was supposed to be routine. Monica sat in her new office. She'd finally moved single strong into proper headquarters while the photographer captured shots of her at her desk. "One more thing," the journalist said, smiling. "Our readers love family angles. Tell me about your children. For daughters, right?" "3 daughters," Monica corrected, then froze. She'd been careful, so careful, but the journalist was looking at her knowingly. "Our fact-checker found birth records. Daniel Harrison born 2 years ago. Your son." Monica's mind raced. Denying it would only make them dig deeper. "Yes, Daniel is my son. Interesting timing given your divorce. Your ex-husband famously wanted sons, according to court documents." "Court documents? Of course they'd found those. My children are off limits for this article," Monica said firmly. "Of course. But Monica, this is part of your story. A powerful part." That night, Monica knew the storm was coming. She prepared the girls. "People might find out about Daniel soon," she told them over dinner. "Will Daddy know?" Sophia asked, always direct. "Probably." "Will he try to take Daniel?" Grace worried. "No one's taking anyone," Monica assured them. "We're a family. We stay together." The article dropped online at midnight. The Secret Son. How Monica Harrison built an empire while hiding her ultimate revenge. By morning it was everywhere. Monica's phone exploded. Calls, texts, emails. She ignored them all until Patricia called. "You need to see this," Patricia said. Jerome had posted on social media. A long, rambling message about being deceived, hidden children, father's rights. He'd hired a new lawyer claiming Monica had committed fraud by hiding Daniel's existence. "He wants custody," Patricia read. "And he's claiming half your company as marital assets." Monica felt the old fear creep and then pushed it down. She wasn't that powerless woman anymore. "Let him try," she said. The legal papers came within days. Jerome was seeking full custody of Daniel, partial custody of the girls, and 50% of Single Strong's value. His lawyer argued that Monica had hidden assets and a child violating their divorce agreement. Monica's lawyer, Denise, was unimpressed. "He's desperate and delusional. We have him on recording abandoning his daughters. His financial claims are baseless. The company was founded post-divorce. But the custody issue, that's trickier. He doesn't even know Daniel's name," Monica protested. "Doesn't matter. Legally he's the father. He has rights. Rights he gave up when he kicked us out." Denise pulled out Monica's phone recordings. "These are gold. But Monica, he'll make this ugly. He'll claim you're vindictive, that you poison the girls against him. You need to be prepared." The first hearing was a media circus. Monica walked in with her head high, ignoring the cameras. Jerome sat across the courtroom, his expensive suit unable to hide his diminished state. Brittany was nowhere to be seen. His lawyer painted Monica as calculating and cruel, hiding a son from his father. Monica's recordings played next, Jerome's voice filling the courtroom. Girls were just expensive mistakes. The judge, an older woman with kind eyes, listened to everything. "Mr. Harrison," she finally said, "you're asking for custody of a child you've never met, whose existence you just learned about, while having voluntarily had no contact with your 3 daughters for 2 years?" "I was denied the opportunity," Jerome started. "Were you denied the opportunity to pay adequate child support? To call? To send birthday cards?" Silence. "Mrs. Harrison," the judge continued, "while I don't approve of hiding a child's existence, I understand the circumstances. We'll order a DNA test to confirm paternity, then revisit custody arrangements." Outside the courthouse, Jerome approached. "Monica, we can work this out privately." She looked at the man she'd once loved, searching for any remnant of who he used to be. There's nothing to work out. He's my son, my heir. He's a person, not property. And where was this concern for your heir when you were throwing us out? I made a mistake. You made choices. Now live with them. I'll fight for him. I'll fight for all of them. Monica stepped closer, her voice low but fierce. You can try, but I'm not the same woman you divorced. I have resources, recordings, and the truth. More importantly, those children don't know you, don't love you, don't need you. So fight if you want. You'll lose more than just the case. She walked away, her heart pounding, but her stride confident. Behind her, she heard Jerome calling her name, but she didn't turn around. The war for her son had begun, but Monica had been fighting longer, harder, and for better reasons. She wouldn't lose now. The DNA test confirmed what everyone knew. Daniel was Jerome's son. But biology and fatherhood were different things, as Monica's lawyer argued brilliantly in court. Your Honor, Denise presented. We have here a father who explicitly stated he didn't want daughters, who abandoned his pregnant wife and 3 children with minimal support, who has made no attempt to contact in 2 years, and who only shows interest now that he's discovered he has a son and his ex-wife has money. The courtroom was packed. Media, single parents from the single-strong community, and Jerome's family filled every seat. Monica sat straight, Daniel on her lap. She'd fought to have him there to show the judge who this was really about. Jerome's lawyer tried to paint a different picture. Mr. Harrison was deceived. Had he known about his son's objection? Denise interrupted. Mr. Harrison's own words, recorded legally in New York as a one-party state, show he wanted nothing to do with any pregnancy from my client. The judge allowed the recordings to play again. This time, new ones Monica had saved. Jerome telling his friends at a bar that Monica could keep the brats. Jerome laughing about being free from diaper duty and dance recitals. Jerome saying he'd finally gotten rid of the dead weight. Each word was a nail in his coffin. Then came the character witnesses. Mrs. Rodriguez testified about Monica's struggle raising 4 children alone. Sophia's teacher spoke about the girl's essays, always about her mother's strength, never mentioning a father. The daycare provider described Daniel asking why other kids had daddies at pickup. Does the biological father wish to make a statement? The judge asked. Jerome stood, his prepared speech in hand. But as he looked at Daniel, who buried his face in Monica's shoulder at the stranger's attention, the words seemed to stick. I want to know my son, he managed. Why? The judge asked simply. Because he's mine. So are the 3 daughters you abandoned. When did you last see them? 2 years ago. Their birthdays? Silence. Their middle names? More silence. Mr. Harrison, you don't want a son. You want an heir. This court deals with children, not legacy planning. The final blow came from an unexpected source. Brittany, subpoenaed by Monica's lawyer, took the stand. He said the girls were mistakes, she testified, bitter from her own abandonment. Said boys were the only children worth having. He made me lie about being pregnant to justify the divorce faster. The judge had heard enough. Mr. Harrison, this court finds you voluntarily abandoned your children. You provided minimal support, no contact, and no care. The fact that you now know one child is male doesn't erase this abandonment. I hereby order you to pay 2 years of back child support at appropriate levels, $200,000. You'll have supervised visitation rights with all 4 children, if they agree and when a court-appointed therapist deems it appropriate. Mrs. Harrison maintains full custody, but the judge wasn't done. Furthermore, any claim to Mrs. Harrison's business assets is dismissed with prejudice. Single Strong was created post-divorce with no marital assets. Mr. Harrison, you wanted to be free of your family. The court has granted that wish. You're free of any claim to their success. The gavel came down. It was over. Jerome slumped in his chair while his lawyer whispered about appeals. Monica gathered Daniel and walked out, her daughters meeting her in the hallway. Did we win? Grace asked. We protected our family, Monica answered. Outside, reporters swarmed. Monica, how do you feel about the verdict? She paused, Daniel on her hip, her daughters surrounding her. I feel grateful. Grateful for the law that protected us, for the community that supported us, and mostly for these 4 amazing children who gave me the strength to fight. Will you let Jerome see the children? That's up to them and the therapist. I won't poison them against their father, but I won't force a relationship either. As they drove home, Sophia asked quietly, "Mom, are you mad at Dad?" Monica considered the question. "No, baby. I'm not mad anymore. I'm free." That night, a notification popped up. Jerome's company had officially filed for bankruptcy. His assets were being liquidated, including the mansion they'd once shared. Monica looked at the listing, remembering the room where she discovered his betrayal, the driveway where he'd kicked them out, the nursery they decorated for Sophia 12 years ago. She made a decision. "Patricia," she called, "I need you to handle something quietly. Anything. I want to buy a house." The auction was private, handled through lawyers. Monica attended virtually, watching numbers climb as investors bid on Jerome's former pride. When the gavel fell, she'd won. The mansion where he'd betrayed her, where he'd kicked out his daughters, was now hers. She didn't tell the children immediately. Instead, she spent a month having it renovated. Every trace of Jerome and Brittany erased, replaced with warmth and light. The master bedroom became a library. The room where she'd watched the affair became Sophia's art studio. New memories to overwrite the old. "We're going on an adventure," she told the kids one Saturday morning. They drove through their old neighborhood, the girls growing quiet as they recognized landmarks. "Why are we here?" Sophia asked suspiciously. Monica pulled into the familiar driveway. "Because this is our house now." The silence was deafening. Then Faith exploded. "The big house. Our old house. Our new house," Monica corrected. "I bought it. We own it. No one can ever make us leave again." Grace started crying. Sophia looked angry. Daniel just clutched his toy truck, confused by his sister's emotions. "We don't have to live here," Monica said quickly. "We can stay at Grandma Rose's house, but I wanted you to have the choice, to know that we weren't kicked out anymore. We chose to leave, and we can choose to return." They explored slowly, the girls remembering and discovering simultaneously. The pool they'd learned to swim in, the tree they'd climbed, but also new spaces, a game room, a dance studio for Faith, a music room for Grace's new violin obsession. "It's different," Sophia observed. "Better. Different can be better." Monica agreed. They moved in gradually, keeping Grandma Rose's house as a rental property. The first night in the mansion, all 4 kids piled into Monica's bed, needing closeness in the big space. Single Strong continued growing. Monica launched a non-profit arm, providing free legal resources for single parents. She named it the Rose Foundation after her grandmother. Speaking engagements multiplied. She shared her story at conferences, to Congress about family law reform, on morning shows. But she always rushed home for bedtime, for homework help, for Daniel's toddler tantrums. One evening, while reviewing acquisition offers, Google was interested now. Her phone rang. Unknown number. "Monica? It's Jerome." She almost hung up. "Please, I wanted to say congratulations. On everything." "What do you want?" "Nothing. I have nothing left to want. Brittany left. The company's gone. I'm starting over working at a dealership selling cars. The mighty Jerome Harrison selling Hondas." Monica felt nothing. "I know about the house," he continued. "That you bought it. That was cruel but fair. It wasn't about you. I know that too." "Monica, I messed up. I threw away everything good for illusion." "Yes, you did. Can I see them? The kids?" "I know the court said supervised visits, but you haven't scheduled any. Because they haven't asked to see you." Silence stretched before he spoke again. Tell them I'm sorry. And that if they ever want to meet me, really meet me, I'll be here. I'll tell them." "And Monica? You were right. About daughters. About everything. I see their pictures online sometimes. They're extraordinary. Like their mother." She hung up without responding. That night at dinner, she told the girls about the call. "Dad wants to see us?" Grace asked. "If you want. No pressure either way." "Does he want to see Daniel?" Sophia asked protectively. "He wants to see all of you." They sat quietly processing. Finally, Sophia spoke. "Maybe someday. When we're ready. But not now." "That's perfectly okay." Faith raised her hand like in school. Can we get a dog now? Dad was allergic. Monica laughed, really laughed. Yes, we can get a dog. As the kids erupted in excitement about potential pets, Monica felt a settling in her chest. This wasn't the family she planned, but it was the family she'd built. Strong, resilient, whole. Her phone buzzed. An email from Forbes. Congratulations, you've made our 40 under 40 list. She screenshotted to Patricia, who responded immediately. Time magazine wants you for their Person of the Year issue. The single mother who revolutionized support for single parents. Monica looked at her children arguing about dog names while Daniel smeared mashed potatoes in his hair. This was success. This was victory. This was revenge served not cold, but transformed into something better. 5 years after the divorce, Monica stood on stage at the New York Stock Exchange ringing the opening bell as Single Strong went public. Her children stood beside her. Sophia, now 15 and poised, Grace 13 and artistic, Faith, 11 and theatrical, Daniel, 5 and fearless. The IPO valued the company at $2 billion. Monica's stake made her one of the wealthiest self-made women in tech. But the numbers meant less than the faces in the crowd. Thousands of single parents whose lives had been touched by the platform. This isn't my success, she told the assembled media. It's ours. Every single parent who refused to give up, who built something from nothing, who proved that families come in all forms. In the crowd, she spotted someone unexpected. Jerome, grayer now thinner, holding a small sign that read, "Proud of you." Their eyes met briefly. She nodded, nothing more, nothing less. Later, at the celebration, a man approached. Michael Chin, a venture capitalist she'd met at various events, tall, kind-eyed with an easy smile. Congratulations, Monica. You've built something remarkable. Thank you. She watched Daniel playing with Michael's son from his previous marriage. The boys had become friends at a conference daycare. I was wondering, Michael continued, if you'd like to have dinner sometime. Not business, just dinner. Monica had dated occasionally, quietly, but nothing serious. She looked at Michael, really looked. He was a single father who understood her world, her priorities. I have 4 kids, she said, testing. I know. I have 2. 6 between us. We could start a basketball team. She laughed. Dinner sounds nice. A year later, they married in the backyard of the mansion. A small ceremony with just family and close friends. Michael's children blended seamlessly with hers. He never tried to replace Jerome, instead becoming his own presence, steady, supportive, present. Jerome had finally met the children by then, in therapy-supervised visits that slowly became less formal. He was different, humbled, careful, trying to earn what he'd thrown away. The girls remained cautious, but civil. Daniel knew him as Mr. Jerome, a nice man who sometimes took them for ice cream. You did well, Jerome told Monica at Sophia's high school graduation. Despite me. Maybe because of my absence. We did well, Monica corrected, including the children. Michael joined them, shaking Jerome's hand without awkwardness. The complexity of modern families on full display. Single Strong expanded globally. The Rose Foundation opened centers in 12 cities. Monica's book, Rising Strong, A Single Mother's Guide to Building an Empire, topped bestseller lists. But the sweetest moment came quietly at home. Monica was working in her office when Daniel wandered in, now 6 and learning to read. Mom, he said, climbing onto her lap. James at school says I don't have a real dad because Dad Michael isn't my blood dad and Mr. Jerome doesn't live with us. Monica's heart clenched. What do you think? Daniel considered seriously. I think I have the best family. I have you and Dad Michael who teaches me soccer, and Mr. Jerome who tells funny stories, and all my sisters who boss me around. James only has one mom and one dad. That seems boring. She hugged him tightly. You're absolutely right. That evening, as the family gathered for dinner, her 4 children, Michael's 2, Michael himself, and Mrs. Rodriguez who'd become an honorary grandmother, Monica looked around the table. This wasn't the life she'd planned at 25, marrying Jerome in a white dress full of traditional dreams. This was better. Messier, harder one, more complex, but absolutely better. Her phone buzzed. A message from a Single Strong user. Your app saved my life. I was where you were 5 years ago. Today, I launched my own business. Thank you for showing us we don't need to be rescued. We can rescue ourselves. Monica smiled, putting the phone away. Success wasn't about the IPO, the mansion, or even Jerome's regret. It was about transformation, taking the worst moment of your life and transform it into strength. The ultimate revenge wasn't destroying Jerome. It was building something so beautiful that his betrayal became just a footnote in a much bigger story. He'd wanted a son to carry on his legacy. Instead, his abandonment created a legacy he could never have imagined. For remarkable children and a movement that changed millions of lives. "Mom," Sophia called out, "Daniel's feeding the dog under the table again." "I am not." Daniel protested while clearly doing that. Monica laughed, jumping into the beautiful chaos of her life. This was her empire. This was her revenge. This was her happily ever after. Not perfect, not fairy tale, but absolutely, completely, wonderfully hers.